Okay, dear colleagues, let's continue our very interesting and wonderful conference. And now I would like to introduce to you a wonderful professor from India, Professor Dr. Sibnag Deb, the director of the Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Young Development from India. And his speech will be about migration, entitled Impact of Migration on Overall Well-being of the Population, with special reference to mental health. So, dear professor, we are waiting for your wonderful speech. So, the floor is yours.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Most respected Professor Sergi, Rector, Alfred Nobel University, Dr. Oksana, Alfred Nobel University, Professor Manoj Dixit ji, Chairperson, IPA-RN Foundation, Dr. Shourabh, Professor Prabhat Datta ji, and distinguished participants. At the outset, I extend my sincere gratitude to the organizers for giving me the opportunity to speak for a short while on an important issue, that is migration. Migration of population is a global phenomena. It's a global challenge. And I would say it's a normal phenomena, because every individual wishes to lead a better life in a comfortable situation. And migration has different consequences, impacts, implications. One school of thought is of the opinion that migration is beneficial for another country in terms of getting a good human resource, their skill, their innovative ideas, which in turn helps to get skilled resource persons for economic development of that country. There is another school of thought which says that it causes population burden for another country and affects the local community in all respect. When we talk of a migration, we need to look at the issue from economic condition of a country perspective. Every year, a large number of youth from the developing country migrate to different industrial countries for higher studies. And then, after completion of their education, they join workforce over there and contribute significantly in terms of skill, in terms of faster economic growth of that country. So this migration is viewed positively because it helps in economic development of another nation. On the other hand, when people migrate from one poor country to another poor country, it becomes a concern for another country. And that becomes a cause of discussion, deliberations to resolve that issue. Now, if we look at the migration of young population in the industrial country, it is always viewed as a positive migration, and they are welcome by the another country. Now, recently we experienced migration in the developing countries, and people try to migrate to another country for various reasons, for safe shelter, for better future of their children, for leading happy and peaceful life. When migration occurs and a larger number of people migrate to another country with the entire family, the worst victim are the children and women, because there's a discontinuation of education for children, and for women they struggle a lot because in terms of settling down in new areas, and there is a question of their safety, security. Normally, when people migrate from poor countries to another neighboring countries, they experience a range of challenges that is related to their accommodation, housing, economic, shelter, in terms of getting an occupation for survival, and also challenges with respect to healthcare and other basic minimal facilities. As a result, the entire family or the community suffer from uncertainty, social isolation, feeling of neglect, humiliation, continuous fear of further displacement or sending them back to their own country. It does not affect only one category of population, it affects the entire family. And after migration, they'll suffer from insecurity, and also a good number of them suffer from atrocities, discriminations, violence in new place. There are very few countries which address those issues from humanitarian perspective. Whatever might be the reason for which people migrate, but when they go to another country, they require basic support from local government, and their skills could be utilized properly that will help them to earn something for their survival, and in turn that will also contribute for development of a new country. So there is a need to look at this issue from positive angle and accommodate people with positive outlook so that they do not suffer from humiliation, insecurity, anxiety, depression. Insecurity because they left their own country with a hope that they can live in a new place with self-respect and dignity, and through hard work they can find the means of their life. But in most of the cases, that is not the reality. If we look at the data, we can see that there are countries who welcome migrant population, and the countries include Canada, US, UK, Australia, and they mostly welcome people from African countries, other Asian countries. But Migration from one developing country or underdeveloped country to another developed country is always a big challenge. That issue requires attention of international agencies to come out with a resolution to accept and accommodate migrant population so that they can live in the new place with self-respect and dignity. And also one should think of providing basic support facilities to the same population. Recently in Bangladesh, a larger number of people migrated, and I had the opportunity to attend some lecture where they shared that what sort of measures are taken to extend basic minimal support facilities in terms of healthcare, in terms of nutrition, in terms of safe accommodation, as well as medical care, which is highly appreciable. Psychological sufferings is more for women, as I mentioned before, and that requires an intervention in a new place. So along with other facilities like providing safe shelter, a reasonably healthy accommodation with basic minimal facilities, mental health support services to be provided to all the migrant population in such a manner so that they do not suffer from insecurity, fear, frustration, hopelessness, and engage the migrant population or help them to get engaged in some economic activities so that they can earn their livelihood through their hard work and can live in a new place with self-respect and dignity. It is also important to arrange or allow them to follow their cultural and religious practices in new places, which in turn helps migrant population to feel at home, forgetting some reservation in terms of religious belief and practices. Therefore, we strongly feel that we should look at migration issue from humanitarian ground and welcome and treat people from other places with respect, and that would be a good gesture on the part of another country. In India, a larger number of people migrate from neighboring countries. It caused a lot of challenges, but it requires a bilateral relation or dialogue to resolve those issues. And the country from where the people migrate, it is a responsibility of that government to ensure that people do not feel insecure in their home country and they do not plan to leave their own place and are forced to go new place and struggle for survival. In the process, in addition to mental health challenges, social isolation, economic challenges are other challenges which affect migrant population adversely. When people migrate to a new place, they settle down. During that time, they are more vulnerable to various physical health problems that include not getting safe drinking water, suffering from common health problems, especially children, and that requires attention by the local administration. engagement of migrant population by the local organizations in different economic activities is found to be very beneficial in order to give them a support to lead a life independently in new place. And this migration issue will remain as long as human civilization exists. And we all think positively and see how the neighboring countries can resolve those issues through continuous dialogue and discussions. Some people migrate legally, that is acceptable. Some people migrate illegally without obtaining proper document, and they experience the worst consequences. And that issue requires attention to resolve that. With this few words, I once again extend my sincere gratitude to the organizers to speak few words on such an important issue, which is affecting a larger number of global population, especially from the middle income and poor income countries. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Professor Deb. It's really very important issues, especially now when we have so much challenges because of the pandemic time. Thank you very much for your wonderful speech. Thank you again. And I would like to ask our dear participants, do you have questions to our dear speaker? Please. If you would like to ask something, our dear speaker, raise your hand, please.
Yes, Oksana.
Yes.
May I?
Yes, of course, yes.
I would like to thank profusely Professor Deb for having presented a very interesting framework of the issues and challenges migration faces. And he has very correctly argued that migration is an inevitability. Given the situation, I would like to seek one clarification from him, possibly because of the constraint of time, he could not elaborate that, but I believe that is very important, and the point he has referred to. The point is the role of international agencies in dealing with the migration situation. Do you have any plan? I mean, do you have any concept of how the international agencies should deal with the issue? Would you please clarify?
Yes, sir. Very pertinent question, very relevant question, very difficult to answer for me in one word. But I would like to say that United Nations have a major role to play to come out with a policy. When United Nations take an initiative and take a policy in discussion with partner agencies, that becomes an obligation for different countries to follow the same framework whenever this crisis comes in different countries. So United Nations, any resolution, any policy document becomes a reference point for different countries. On the other hand, this is one aspect. Another aspect, bilateral relationship between the neighboring countries is very important for various reasons. I would say that maintaining a good relationship with neighboring countries, supporting them during different crisis situation. I just give an example. Because of this COVID-19 pandemic afterwards, the government of India, biological researcher came out with vaccine. Government of India has shown a good gesture providing vaccine to neighboring countries, even to Pakistan also. Although it could not be given to all the citizens of the country, but in a subsequent manner, phased manner, definitely it will be made available to every citizen of the country. But immediately the gesture shown by the government of India, providing vaccine free of cost to Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, and even some African countries, I think without any money, free of cost, it is highly appreciable. Like if you look at any issue, whenever the crisis arises, if you look at the issue from that perspective, I think it is not a very difficult to resolve those crises. When you talk of the migrant population, especially the poorest from poor family, when they go to other country, the people, for example, my grandparents, they migrated from Bangladesh to India because of some reasons, because some compulsions. They narrated us that what sort of a challenges they faced. They had to sell out their land and everything with minimum price, and they had to settle down in a new area and had to struggle a lot to get a job, to get an occupation in a new place. So I had the opportunity to come to know something about the similar situation from my grandparents. So they were very educated, but what happens to people with low level of education or skill? They struggle a lot to settle down in a new place because of their acceptance is very low, because they cannot speak fluent English. They do not have any wealth. They do not have a proper dress. So they become the worst victim of the circumstances. So it depends on the gesture outlook of the government of one country who receive a lot of migrant population from outside. So through dialogue, deliberations, this problem could be addressed instead of giving too much pressure to migrant population to leave the country immediately. So always rules and regulation, laws, international agency framework may not help. It requires positive gesture as a human being. I think that way we can attain more happiness showing our positive gesture to a helpless people, homeless people who are in distress condition. And that talks about the fourth component of positive mental health, that a person contribution to neighboring community to help others who are in helplessness condition.
Thank you very much.
I could address your query, Professor.
You have very successfully addressed the issues I wanted to be clarified from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And also, Dr. Tulay would like to ask something. Tulay?
Oh, actually, it wasn't, I didn't raise my hand. I just applaud and I just
Okay, thank you very much.
did this one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Signa. Thank you for this lovely speech. Thanks.
Thank you, Professor Deb. It was really a very interesting speech, very wonderful information for us. We should think more deeply about that because it's really very important issues for our current time right now. Thank you very much again. And now I would like to invite two wonderful colleagues and two wonderful speakers from Turkey. Dr. Tulay Atay, Faculty of Communication, Department of Journalism from Hatay Mustafa Kemal University, Turkey, and also Dr. Ayşin Yaşar, Faculty of Office of Islamic Sciences, Department of Islamic History from Mersin University. And both of